I almost threw the envelope away because I thought it was another bill, but it turned out to be the one letter that made me quit the job everyone said I was lucky to have. My name is Miles. I'm 30, and for 5 years I worked at a bank where the air always smelled like carpet cleaner and quiet anxiety. People called it a stable career, which really meant predictable paychecks and the same conversations every day. I wasn't miserable, just stuck in a loop so repetitive I could guess the time by which customer walked in. My parents loved telling relatives I worked in finance. My friends assumed I'd retire there. I assumed nothing would ever change. One rainy Tuesday, I came home to a pile of mail wedged under my door. Utility bills, advertisements, and a plain white envelope with my name typed in bold letters. No logo, no return address. I nearly tossed it with the rest, but noticed the postage stamp was international. Inside was a short letter and a thin certificate. 3 years earlier, I'd entered an online design competition during a bored weekend. I'd completely forgotten about it. Apparently, my submission had been shortlisted, then delayed, then revisited when the organizers partnered with a startup incubator. The letter said I'd been offered a 6-month funded residency to develop my concept, an interactive budgeting app for young adults, travel and housing included. The deadline to respond was 10 days away. I laughed at first because it felt unreal, like one of those spam messages promising yachts and islands. But the website checked out. The names were real. The opportunity was real. What wasn't real was my confidence. I hadn't designed anything serious in years. My bank job had turned creativity into something I only visited on weekends, like an old hobby collecting dust. I showed the letter to my coworkers the next day, expecting encouragement. Most of them said it sounded risky. One told me, "People would kill for your stability." That sentence echoed louder than praise ever could. For a week, I carried the envelope in my backpack like a secret weight. I made pros and cons lists, watched videos about career changes, and imagined worst-case scenarios. The funny part was realizing my biggest fear wasn't failing at the residency. It was returning to the same desk knowing I never tried. On the 9th day, I walked into my manager's office with the letter folded neatly in my hand. He read it slowly, then surprised me by smiling. "You'll regret not going more than you'll regret going," he said. I hadn't expected support from the one person whose approval I thought mattered most. I accepted the offer that night. The following month felt like dismantling a carefully built routine, canceling subscriptions, selling furniture, packing only what fit in 2 suitcases. My parents worried but eventually shifted from fear to cautious pride. My friends threw a small farewell dinner where half the jokes were about me coming back broke. I laughed with them because part of me believed it too. The residency wasn't magical or easy. It was long hours, confusing feedback, and learning tools I'd never touched before. Some days I felt 10 steps behind everyone else. Other days I'd build a feature that worked and feel like I'd discovered fire. The app slowly took shape, not perfect, but alive. By the 5th month, a small investor offered seed funding to continue development. It wasn't life-changing money, just enough to keep going without panic. Here's the twist no one predicted. I didn't become a tech celebrity or sell the app for millions. When the program ended, I chose a hybrid path. I returned home and took a part-time financial consulting role while continuing the app on my own schedule. The ending wasn't a dramatic escape from my old life. It was a redesign of it. I kept the stability everyone valued, but I also kept the creative door open permanently instead of visiting it on weekends. That envelope still sits on my desk, slightly wrinkled, a reminder that change doesn't always arrive with fireworks or perfect timing. Sometimes it looks like junk mail on a rainy day. The real victory wasn't quitting my job or chasing a dream across the world. It was realizing I didn't have to choose between security and possibility forever. I just had to stop throwing away the letters that asked me to consider both.